There aren't many cars as wrapped in controversy as the Tucker 48. If you look it up online, you'll find two very different takes. One side claims the Big Three and the government shut Tucker down like a classified operation, fearing his car was too advanced and a threat to the industry. The other side argues that the company failed simply because Preston Tucker was a terrible businessman with no real plan to keep it afloat. As always, the truth is somewhere in the middle. So today, let's take a closer look at the rise and fall of the Tucker Corporation and sort out the facts from the fiction. This video is inspired by two articles about the Tucker Corporation, one from a South Dakota State University publication and another from Hot Cars. You can find links to these articles in the Google Doc linked in the description. I highly recommend checking them out for more in-depth information. Preston Tucker was born on September 21, 1903 in Michigan. Growing up, he spent his after-school hours in garages, immersed in the early days of the automobile industry. After graduating, he worked as a salesman for Studebaker and became a regional sales manager for Pierce Arrow by 1930. In 1935, Tucker found himself working alongside Harry Miller, one of the most respected car builders of the era. Miller's engine designs were cutting edge, so much so that they were said to have influenced some of the biggest names in the automotive world. In fact, Miller's work was so advanced that even Ettore Bugatti, yes, the legendary Bugatti, was rumored to have borrowed ideas for his Type 50 and Type 51 engines from Miller's designs. It was during this time that Preston Tucker learned the true potential of what cars could be. Not just functional vehicles, but powerful machines capable of going beyond what was expected. The work Tucker did with Miller and other racing engineers exposed him to the kind of performance and engineering that no one in Detroit was even considering at the time, and this would set the stage for Tucker's own brand of innovation, which would later lead to the creation of his own car, the Tucker 48. Then came World War II, and it put a wrench in Tucker's plans. With the entire U.S. automotive industry focused on supporting the war effort, car production for civilian use came to a screeching halt. But Tucker wasn't just sitting around twiddling his thumbs. He still had dreams of creating a revolutionary vehicle, even if it wasn't for the civilian market. This is where we get the Tucker Tiger, a military all-terrain vehicle he designed, which was powered by a beefy Packard V12 engine. This thing was a beast, capable of reaching speeds over 100 miles per hour, which for a military vehicle at the time was downright insane. But here's the catch. The U.S. military had a regulation that no combat vehicle should go faster than 35 miles per hour. So, despite the Tucker Tiger's impressive performance potential, the project was grounded before it could ever leave the prototype stage. Still, the Tucker Tiger showcased Tucker's relentless pursuit of innovation, even if it wasn't the kind of car he had originally envisioned. But this experience would only fuel his drive to build something new and better when the war was over. By 1947, Preston Tucker was ready to finally unveil his dream car to the world, the Tucker 48. The first prototype, which became known as the Tin Goose, was a marvel of engineering and design. Originally, the car was going to be called the Torpedo, but to avoid any negative associations with war, Tucker changed the name to the more civilian-friendly Tucker 48. This was Tucker's bold step into a future where vehicles could be safe, fast, and technologically advanced all at once. The first prototype featured an enormous 589 cubic inch flat-six engine, which was one of the biggest engines ever made for a passenger car at that time. But here's the kicker. Despite its impressive size, this engine wasn't able to deliver the performance that Tucker had hoped for. The issue was that it was just too big, causing more strain on the components than expected. It was a costly failure, but it didn't stop Tucker from pushing forward. After all, real innovation rarely comes without a few setbacks. If you're enjoying the video, consider subscribing. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers by the end of the month, and every click helps a lot. Thanks for the support. Despite the engine setback, Tucker's vision for the Tucker 48 was too powerful to be derailed. The production version of the car, which eventually hit the market, was packed with features that were incredibly ahead of their time. For example, safety was one of Tucker's primary concerns, especially since many cars at the time were practically death traps in the event of a crash. One of the standout safety features was the pop-out windshield. This windshield was designed to detach from its frame upon impact so that it wouldn't shatter into dangerous glass shards and harm the car's occupants. It was a simple yet groundbreaking idea that nobody had even considered before. Tucker also introduced padded dashboards and door panels, which were designed to cushion the impact of a collision. Imagine driving a car where the dashboard itself is softer and more forgiving in the event of an accident. This was years before the idea of airbags or energy-absorbing steering columns. Tucker wasn't just designing a car, he was thinking about how it would keep you alive in a world that, let's be honest, didn't really care about safety. But it wasn't all about safety. Tucker was also obsessed with performance. The Tucker 48 was a car that could keep up with some of the fastest production vehicles of its time. The engine that ended up powering the Tucker 48 was an H6 built by Franklin, an engine originally intended for aircraft and stationary use. This engine was no slouch. It delivered 164 horsepower and 372 pound-feet of torque, which allowed the car to reach a top speed of 120 miles per hour. That might not sound like much today, but in 1948, this was right up there with cars like the Jaguar XK120, which was one of the fastest cars of the era. Unfortunately, not everyone was excited about what Preston Tucker was doing. In fact, his success was met with immediate opposition. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission launched an investigation into the Tucker Corporation, and many people believe that the big three automakers, Ford, General Motors, and Chrysler, had some hand in making sure that investigation was as thorough as possible. Preston Tucker himself suspected this, though there was no concrete evidence to prove it. Despite the pressure, some people in the automotive world were supportive of Tucker's efforts. For instance, the Lincoln division of Ford actually sent the Tucker Corporation 50 steering wheels when Tucker's team ran into a design issue. This kind of cooperation was a rare show of goodwill in an industry where competition could be fierce to the point of sabotage. However, despite these small acts of support, the investigation, along with other business challenges, led to Tucker's downfall. The investigation was a major distraction, and it eventually led to the company's collapse. In 1988, Francis Ford Coppola's Tucker, the Man and His Dream brought Preston Tucker's story to the big screen. The film depicts Tucker as an inventor and salesman with a vision for the car of the future, the Tucker 48. However, it also portrays the forces that worked against him. The movie suggests that the big three automakers threatened by Tucker's innovations conspired with corrupt politicians, most notably U.S. Senator Homer Ferguson, to destroy his company. Ferguson, needing support from the auto industry for his re-election, allegedly used his influence to push an SEC investigation that ultimately led to Tucker's financial ruin. While the film makes these claims, historians have found no direct evidence linking the big three or politicians to Tucker's downfall. Still, Coppola's film offers a compelling, though dramatized, look at how politics and corporate power may have crushed Tucker's dream. Had things gone differently, Tucker might have completely changed the automotive world. It's easy to imagine a world where Tucker's ideas caught on, where cars were designed with safety in mind from the start, and where performance was no longer just for sports cars. But Tucker's story isn't one of failure, it's one of untapped potential. While the Tucker 48 was the company's crowning achievement, it was just the beginning. Tucker had already partnered with Italian engineer Secondo Campini to develop a turbine-powered car long before Chrysler even considered it. There was also another model in the works, the Talisman, which was going to be a sports car. Unfortunately, this one also never saw the light of day. But just think about what could have been. a whole new line of revolutionary vehicles that weren't afraid to break the mold. In the end, Preston Tucker's story is a testament to what can happen when one person has the courage to challenge the norm. While the Tucker 48 might not have revolutionized the world the way he imagined, it left an indelible mark on the automotive industry that still resonates today. His legacy is not just in the cars he built, but in the way he thought about cars, how they could save lives, go faster, and provide an experience unlike anything else on the road. What do you think? Was the Tucker 48 really too ahead of its time, or did Preston Tucker just miscalculate and overestimate his abilities? Do you believe the Big Three and the government played a role in his downfall, or was it just a matter of bad business decisions? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and click on the recommended video that appears on the screen. It's all about the Dodge Little Red Express, a truck that was the fastest American vehicle you could buy in 1978. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.